Loud. Recording is in progress. So, all right. Welcome to today's class on growing your referral network in Command. As hopefully all of you know, you are part of the largest real estate organization in the world. And as such, you have a tremendous opportunity to connect with other real estate agents around the country and even the world. I think for this referral network, it probably works best for the country. But what we're going to go through today is how you can become intentional with building that and growing your referral network, specifically using some of the tools that you have in Command to kind of get that done. So before we get started, we're going to have a little bit of a quiz here. And I know some of you are newer, so you may not know the answers to this. Some of you may be a little more experienced and may not know the answer to this. But the whole premise of what we're doing today is built around the 4 laws of lead generation. So quiz is going to be, I need you guys to share who knows the 4 laws of lead generation.
Lead generation, lead follow-up, laws.
It was quick. It was there.
That was quick, yeah.
9 to 11 is all.
That's a good rule for sure. And this is in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I think on page like 142.3 is kind of where it goes over it. But the 4 laws of lead generation are going to be build and organize your network. Well, for us specifically, the 4 laws of building your network are going to be building and organizing your network. Number 2 is going to be feeding your network. Number 3 is going to be communicating with your network. And number 4 is going to be continuing to work your network. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And we're going to give you techniques for all 4 of those laws so that you can use Command and the tools that are in Command to facilitate pretty much all of those. Some of them you'll have to do. There's no shortcut for picking up the phone and calling. But there are a lot of tools that you can use within the Command platform to get some of this done. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to go ahead and build and organize your network. So the way you're going to get that done is we're going to look at how you can use tags at a high level so that you can identify who your network partner, your referral partners are. We're also going to take a look at referral patterns and how you can see what the migration patterns are within Command so that you can see where incoming and outcoming referrals from your market center are. And then finally, in your handout, the first handout that you're going to see in there is a worksheet for you to start going out and finding agents in the top markets in the country. Then we're going to go into feeding your network. And that is, we have a worksheet in there where we're going to identify how many people you need to have in your network using, averages. We're going to talk about how you can use Command to help you follow up with these leads. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is we're going to use a common technique called Do the Database 2. You may have heard this in bold if you're in that. That's DTD2, which is where you systematically follow up with people in your network. And you're going to treat your referral network the same exact way you would treat clients, Sphere, and you're going to intentionally stay in touch with them. And then finally, we're going to talk about how you can work your network. I have created a smart plan that is specifically designed for you to build that relationship, to cement that relationship with your referral network. So that is our agenda for today. Are there any specific questions or anything anybody was hoping to cover? And please, in Zoom world, feel free to chime in. All right, not hearing it, and then we're going to hop right on into it then. So as I mentioned, one of the easiest ways to start, where you're going to want to start building your plan around growing your referral network is with tags. So if anybody's attended any of my classes on building your database, we're going to use the same kind of techniques here with tagging your referral partners. So the way you're going to get that done is I am going to go up under your name in the top right corner. And I'm just going to get into my personal profile as opposed to the team profile. I'm going to go into settings. And then under command settings, you have contacts and then contact tags. And I would recommend adding a couple different ways to tag your agent, your referral partner agents. One would be to create a tag called referral partner. If you've taken any of my other classes or I've seen a lot of other classes out there, I also recommend color coding those tags. So I usually use the black label as my agent referrals, whether they're internal, out, external, that kind of stuff. That's my agent tag color is black. This may show up as an error for me. So I would then choose black and then create. I already have that tag there. So if you do already have that tag, you can just disregard that part. And then the second part would be, I would identify the where they are. So where is that partner? Are they in Raleigh? Are they in Charlotte? Are they in Rhode Island? I know some good ones up there, New York, all those kind of things. And what I would then do would be, I would identify that with an orange tag. That's what I use for location. And I would tag that as orange. So then you started building the foundation for building your referral networks. Now you don't have to add tags on the fly. You have the area. So then when you are sorting and looking for agents and you want to just send a message out to all your referral partners, you can just run a filter in command that would say, hey, show me everybody that has that tag. Or if you see a post on, maybe it's on Rockin' Red, and they say, hey, I'm looking for an agent in Tempe, Arizona. You just pull up all your Arizona referrals, or maybe you have it specifically down to that, and then people that are in your network using the top 150 markets, you're hopefully gonna have a ton of people in your network on that. So that's where I would start, is going to be in command with the tags. So you don't have to set up a ton. The main one is gonna be that referral partner, so you can easily identify that list of people. And then you'll be able to send targeted contact information to them.
But how did you make the color? Like I did my black, but I didn't. Then I added Virginia. Mm-hmm. How did you make it that? You were saying to make the Virginia
orange is what I would use. I mean, that's just me.
So then, how did you do that?
So you would type Virginia. Mm-hmm. So if I go out here, create tag, and I would type Virginia. And then if I just hit the orange color there, just highlight the tag appearance, and then I hit create, and then that makes it, if I can look in my tags now, if I search, Virginia's orange.
Okay, so that was underneath another one? No.
Nope. No. So it's just create tag.
So you didn't do referral partner first? I thought you said you did.
I already did referral partner. It's not like a sub tag. They're two independent. My mistake. Oh, it's not a subcategory tag.
I thought you were doing it together.
I would love it if Command did that.
So
right now.
Referral partners and then individuals.
Yeah.
States.
Correct. Or areas or stuff like that. Yep. Any other questions on the tags?
So as we meet more agents in more areas, every time we just go here and add their area.
You could do that. The other way you could use it is you could use custom fields under here. If you didn't want to create a different tag for every person, because then you end up with 150,000 tags. You could use custom fields for the area. So if you did custom fields, and then I put service area, and I create custom fields. And then custom field type is text. And go ahead and create. Now, if I go into and I go into, so let's say I talked to Amy, she's a referral partner of mine. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna hit edit, and then I'm gonna hit tags, and I'm gonna call add up referral partner, and I already have it in there. Go ahead and hit save. I'm also gonna go in there and hit edit, and this is maybe what you wanna do, Lydia. I'm gonna go under add more information, and under custom, I've got my custom field of service area, and there I can just put Charlotte. The only downside of that is it's not a filterable field. You'll just have to know, okay, I'm going to pull up all my referral partners, and then under custom fields, I'll just look for that specific area. But that may actually create a less confusing database, because Tam can definitely acknowledge that over tagging can be a challenge. It can be a problem too. So
where now that it's a custom field, where is that if you go back to see it?
If I'm under Amy, I can scroll all the way to the bottom, so custom field Charlotte. And if I go back to contacts, and if I do customize columns, service area shows up as a customizable column. I can just pull that up. And now that became a column in my report. Now the only thing it's not a filterable field. So I can't say specifically find me all the Charlotte people. Okay. You have to have that column active. Yeah. Whereas if it was a tag, you could say, show me all my Charlotte people. The downside would be you create, 300 different tags, right? If you go through and follow people, or if you just do state specific, you might narrow it a little bit. But I like the idea too of the custom field. Any other questions?
Can you do multiple filters like referral and Charlotte?
So right now it is it's or logic, it's not and. So it'll pull anybody who has referral partner or Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So it'll pull all your referral partners and anybody who has a Charlotte tag. So it's not, I would love it to be and logic. The logic's not there for that yet. Hopefully it will be soon. Any other tag questions? Anything from Zoom? All right, well, the next thing we talked about doing inside of Command is, as we're looking to organize and create our network, is let's look for some agents. So one of the first ways to do that is going to be to first look at the migration patterns. So under the referrals applet, on the left-hand side, you can click on that. And then if you go to map, and then a lot of people miss this part right here. It defaults to production, but you can also do referral patterns. And then you can see these are where all the outgoing referrals from Wilmington that have been tracked inside of Command have gone to. So you can see our most popular referral outbound is going to be Raleigh, North Carolina. Then you can see we've sent referrals as far as Houston, up to Chicago, up to Philadelphia, as Amy was mentioning. So that is your outbound. Now, I see a lot of people miss this one too. They say that's great. How about the incoming one? Where are they coming in from? Well, it's a little button right here that says receive. So if you want to see where people are coming into Wilmington from, you're going to click that button. That's going to show you the other way. So these are where referrals have come in from. Now, keep in mind, this is not a migration pattern from like the population in general. This is just Command, Keller Williams to Keller Williams tracked inside Command referrals. So there you go, 5% of our incoming referrals are coming from Raleigh. So that just gives you, okay, I'm gonna focus, my first focus is probably gonna be finding some referral partners in Raleigh because that is the most common area. So that would be how you can do that. And then if you want to check where your incomings from Myrtle Beach are, you've got the most out, as far as inside of command, the most outbound referrals have come from Myrtle Beach to Charlotte. So that is the second part of growing and building your network, is identifying where the people are coming from. Yes?
We've only utilized this if it is a KW agent.
This number is here. Yeah, these numbers here. Okay. If you want to look for agents in these areas, yeah, you can definitely, like in the next part of this exercise here, you can find a top agent anywhere.
Okay. Well, I just got a referral from Raleigh, so I'm like, I don't like put it in there, but she's not KW. Yeah. So that wouldn't track, it wouldn't go into this numbers, and you could still add that person as a referral partner in your command and still track it as a great income source for you. Yeah. Yep. So that's the referral patterns. Again, and this is as good as the information that we feed it. So the more information that we are feeding command and the more referrals we're sharing inside of command, the more this information is going to be validated. Because I think if you talk to Myrtle Beach agents, their number one referral market is not Charlotte. It's probably like Greensboro. It's probably Greenville, South Carolina is their number one. Can anybody in Myrtle Beach confirm that they're the number one migration area?
I just got one from Greenville.
Yeah, it's Greenville, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Then who knew this tool existed and knew how to use it?
Not me.
Awesome. All right. So then you learned something today. All right. So then the third component, and this is in your handout, and those of you on Zoom, hopefully you received the handouts. If you did not, they will be emailed to you after. You should have received an email, but if you signed up a little closer to the meeting time, I didn't get them out again. I will make sure that I resend those out with the recording of the class so that you have that. And the third part, which again is in the handout, it's going to be the first handout in there. This is a ranking of the top 150 markets within the United States. So you could do this a couple different ways. You could literally, it's alphabetical with the rank next to it. And then this was an activity that I got from Family Reunion in 2019, I guess. Yeah, the last time we were there in person. I guess it was 2020. Yes, 2020. And they said to set a goal to go find 3 referral partners in each one of the top 150 markets. And if you were, obviously start with 1, but if you were to find 3, you're gonna be able to build yourself a phenomenal referral network inside of Calibre. So what you would do with this, you would choose, my personal opinion is I would probably start here and spread my way out, unless I have, like me, I have coming from Rhode Island, I have some referral partners in Rhode Island. I would make sure I add them to my network, and then I would start where I know, as well as kind of using this information with the referral patterns with, I think there were like 10 or 15, but I think there were like 7 North Carolina cities in here. And I would start right there. And the way you're going to do that, and this is going to depend on what your comfort level is, who you want to go after. But the other great part of this referrals tool inside of Command is if I switch this back to production, and I wanted to search in Cranston, Rhode Island, as an example. So I just type in that area. It's now going to show all 445 agents who are on this map right here. If I want to zoom this map into a specific area, so let's go instead zoom in. The more I zoom in, the smaller this list is going to get. So you'll see I'm all the way down to 49 by zooming in on this. Now, go ahead.
Is that production as what they do, or is that the production is what they refer out or in?
That's the production of their sales. So that's sorted by production level. Okay. If you wanted to instead filter it a different way, this is set on right now it's set on a random. So it's not, Elise is not the #1 agent in the area. She's just one of the 49 that are there. If I wanted to sort it by production, up here, I would go to sort and then hit closed units. Now that's going to show me who the #1 agent in that area by production is. Or if I wanted to sort it by who it's a buyer, maybe I want the person who actually does the most buy sides. And I'm going to send them the buy side. Further, you can further filter. So let's say, okay, what are the chances that a top agent is going to refer me as a new agent their business? You can look by people who have similar type production as you, or similar type criteria as you. So up here in the right-hand side, there are filters. And you can then choose to filter based on some other criteria. So if I want specifically a luxury, or let's say I want someone who's in KW Young Professionals, KWYP, and I go ahead and click that as my criteria, as a specialization, and then hit apply filter. Now I've got the only agent in this area who is a KWYP. Now maybe as a young professional, not that that's me, I'm not qualified for that anymore. I could specifically reach out to Melanie by going ahead and hit plus. And then you can send an invitation to invite Melanie into your referral network. I would highly recommend and this is just my personal opinion, I would send a personalized message with this. And then I would also call and reach out. If I'm trying to build a relationship, I'm not just going to send out 540 invitations. There are a ton of agents who just send out 540 invitations. And that's just throwing stuff to the wall and hoping some of it sticks. Your goal with this, just like your goal is building with your database, is to build relationships with people. That's how you're going to get, if you look on certain referral groups within Facebook as an example, that's how the same agents start showing up over and over and over. It's because they've built relationships. So you send that for personalized information. So you would do that for each of the cities and towns on there. So if I just type in Frisco, Texas as an example, I can find all the agents that service Frisco. And then I would start building my top 3 referral partners in each one of those networks. And then one final thing that I'll just add, and this you may have seen a recent update with Command, where you can now add to your agent profile any military designations you have, as far as if you're a active, reserve, or veteran, or a military spouse. That will soon become a filterable field in here. So that will soon be a specialization, so that let's say, we have a lot of military relocation to the area. Maybe you know they're getting their orders out to San Diego. You can find someone who's maybe a military specialist or a military family out there. So that's not here yet, but that is here. You can also filter by, hey, I don't want a list of all 750 agents in the area. I want the ones who actually sell some property. You can filter by their production level as well. So I could say, hey, I only want the people who sold at least 10 units. Now, one thing I will just want to keep in mind, units can sometimes be a deceptive identifier, because depending on how teams break up their sales, they may all go, the unit production may all go to the Rainmaker, or it may be split with the individual. So that's not going to be your end all be all. It is a good identifier. You're then going to want to connect with these people to make sure that they're people who want work. Any questions on how you're going to grow and organize your network? So your goal is going to be to go out here, find people to add to your network, and then you're going to want to start adding them, hopefully to start sending and receiving referrals from them too. What questions do you have on building the referral?
I have questions about our profiles and how they show up there.
Mm-hmm.
So is it that we're going into our profile and we're putting those tags for ourselves? There's a drop down for tags that are
as far as the K with WYP and luxury and stuff like that. Well, luxury is a tag that's done at the market center level. Not everybody can you can't just go add luxury if you're not a luxury qualified agent. And all of those other special, so none of these you can personally add. Those all have to be done at the market center level. I believe the only thing I might be able to add is KWYP. But the next part of your question and where I thought you were going with this is what is this profile here? So if I click on Brad, this is going to pull up his profile in Command. So if you attended some of my other classes, you may notice this is a stock image. So that tells me, and I've talked to agents specifically from other areas, looking, say, hey, Chris, who can you tell me who's an agent in Wilmington? Because I looked on Command and I couldn't see anybody who had an updated profile. So I can tell that Brad has not updated his image here. That's the stock image that everybody has when they get their profile back from Command. He has at least updated his bio. This is good. So people are looking at that when they're looking up who to refer. If your bio says, why choose me as an agent? That's the stock one that everybody gets when they're right out of the gate. So make sure your bio is updated and you'll update that under your profile in your top under your name. The other key component of that is make sure your social media profiles are there, because that is how you're going to build your network too, is building those relationships, not just, hey, I got 540 people in my referral network. You want to build your relationships. Great question. Thank you for that, Nancy. What other questions do you guys have?
Phone numbers in there, if they haven't gone into edit, are those like accurate?
Those would be whatever's in their command profile. So whatever they set up, hopefully people are putting their accurate information.
Okay.
Yeah. But that should be the best way to get in touch with them. Any Zoom questions? I don't think I've seen anything in the chat, right? Nothing in the chat. All right, so that's the first section. That is all on feeding and building and organizing your database. All right, so the next thing we're going to go over is we are going to go over how to feed your network. So again, you want to first identify, and this is the next handout that's going to be in your handout. Nope. Oh, it's the last one. Sorry. This is the back page. You need to decide how big you want this to build. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to, let me just pull this up here on the Zoom, sorry. So you guys can see it just in case you weren't able to get to it. All right, can you guys confirm in Zoom world that you are seeing it on my screen? How big do you need to grow your network?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so the first thing you need to decide to do this little activity, this exercise, is how much GCI do you want to get from your referral network? So you need to decide whether this is going to be your number one pillar. This is going to be one of the pillars in your business. So how much of your business do you want to come from this? So let's just say, for argument purposes, we want to have a GCI just from a referral network of $50,000. So that was what would go on your GCI goals from $50,000 from line A. Then you need to decide and determine what your average price point is. So let's say my average price point is $400,000. I'm going to put that on line B. And then on line C, we're going to say, how much is my average GCI from each one of my referrals. So I'm going to say that is going to be 400,000 times 2.75. What that number is? That's going to be 11,000. So on line C, I have 11,000. Now line D is going to be the average, the number of referrals I need to hit my goal. So then I am going to take line C and then line A and divide it by line C. So now I'm going to take $50,000 as an example and divide it by $11,000. So that's 4.5. So I'm going to round that up to 5. So I now, with this calculation, I need to get 5 referrals to get to $50,000. Using the logic that these are our MET database, that we know these people at least through social, we're going to assume a ratio that every 10 people in your referral network should yield you 1 referral. Then we're going to finish off by saying we're going to take D, so that was 5. So we determined that we needed 5 referrals here to get to our number. We are then going to say we're going to take 5 times 10, because a 10-to-1 ratio on our referral partners, or 1 to 10. We're going to say I need 50 referral partners in my network to get to $50,000 of DCI from our referral network. Then you're going to determine how aggressively you're going to go after adding people to your network. So let's say you want to add 50 people to your network in the next 10 weeks. That means you have to add 5 people per week to your network. That's how you can say, okay, now you're going to put into your business plan, hopefully you're going to time block 1 hour, 2 hours every week to go intentionally grow your referral network. That's the next component of it is, okay, what does this need to look like? How big do I need my network to be? What questions do you have for me on that? I know it was math. It's noon. Real estate agents should be able to do math at noon. All right, yeah, math combined. I mean, noon, pizza, math. I've lost everybody. Everybody's asleep.
And I just came from a closing from Hades, so coffee right now to wake up.
Hopefully it was the operative word there was a closing. Hopefully it closed.
No, we have to go back at 3.
Okay, so you need more coffee.
I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do you have a calendar for time blocking for a typical week if it's 50 hours? How much time to spend on these different outreaches?
I wouldn't say there's an exact calendar. I would say the ideal time, I would put this in my lead generation time, because this is lead generation, right? I mean, ultimately, so in an ideal world, you're time blocking 2 to 3 hours every day as an agent for lead generation. And I would find somewhere in that one of those lead generation time blocks for specifically this.
Is this 2.75? That's like if you give them 25% for the referral? Is that what it is?
No, the 2.7, I'm just using that as an average commission percentage. I would love it to be 3. Certain areas of the country are a lot less than that.
We have to give them a referral fee though, right?
Yes, that is correct. Unless you get really good at building relationships and they just want to give you free referrals. But yeah, this is just calculating gross commission, just right off the top.
Top line, okay, right.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. What other questions you guys have? Awesome. All right. So once you have grown your network, you need to get them into command. So once you add, let's say I added Brad to my network, I am going to add him to command just like I did with Amy. So we would go into command. You would add the person the same exact way you would add any contact. You need to have at least their name, email and phone number are going to be phenomenal as well. And then you're going to add that tag. And then the final component of that is if you're using the database to, you're doing the database too, you're going to add that tag to them based on where they fall in the alphabet. So as an example, I'm going to go back into Amy since I've already set her up. And you'll see that I've added a tag for the DT-D2, which is do the database to. In that system, they group T and J as two letters that you call together. So when you're going in and during that time block that you have specifically for growing your referral network and growing your relationships in there, you're going to run a list that says, hey, I need to call everybody who's got a T and a J, and you can use that as a filter on your list. So I'm going in here, back to contacts, and I want to see just who to call with that T and J tag. I'm going to go to filters, and I'm going to be tag. And this just takes all of the thinking out of who to call. I know during that time block, I'm going to call all of my people who have that letter. I'm just going to go ahead and hit apply. Now, everybody who's in my database with that tag is going to show up with that. So in this case, Amy happens to be the only one with that tag. So now this is going to eliminate, you know, again, sitting there, because half the problem with lead generation is people sit there for 3 hours saying, who am I going to call? You just need to be systematic around, okay, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, I'm calling all my T's and J's. And every Tuesday, you know, you're going to go in and you're going to call that letter or those two letters of it. So that's how you're, again, you're going to really, the key to this, and what I want to make sure that everybody gets is you want to treat this as the same way you would treat any other lead generation portion of your business. You're going to need to build relationships, get into rapport with them, and that's going to lead us to that the final component, which is how we're going to go about building those relationships. What questions you guys have so far? Yeah.
What would keep that filter from actually producing results? Because I had trouble with this Tuesday yesterday. You know, just trying to run a simple search.
She might not have the tags in it.
Well,
oh, Jason may not.
Yeah,
sorry.
I found them.
You in? Yeah, there's 31 contacts in the team. Gives everybody's team. Okay. So hit switch team account. You know how to do it. You can just do it. Just hit switch team account.
And it should work there. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So he has them. Those are all on his account. Those are legacy type tags. Yep. What other questions you guys have so far?
I do. So the T&J is specifically to locate all your referral people. Right?
Well, you can use that for your referrals. You could call it, one of the things you can do is I would potentially set up tags for my SOI and past clients tags that are one set of letters, and then my referral partners as another set of the same letters. Like if you notice in mine, go back to mine, sorry. If I go to tags, not only do I have T and J, I also have talent T and J. So those for me would be agents who I have in my database that have that same letters. I have two different filters on that, two different tags. So if I want to contact just the agents who are T and J, I have that as talent T and J, as opposed to T and J that may be my database. Okay. So you can say on Tuesday, I'm going to call my talent or my referral partners. Wednesday, I'm calling everybody else in my database who has T and J. And again, it's just creating that system and that consistency around it, which is the part that real estate agents struggle with. Mightily.
Not at all.
Not at all. But now that we've found the people that we're putting in our network, we've put them in our network, we've systematically calculated how many people we need to add to our network, we have a time block on it. Now you've got to start building, the final component is building those relationships. And that's connecting with your network. So if you've read Millionaire Real Estate Agent, one of the best ways that they say to grow that relationship, and this is with Sphere, people you just met off the street, networking kind of things. In Millionaire Real Estate, the first version of it, it was called 8x8. They've kind of refined it a little bit in saying that to build that solid relationship, it now only requires 7 contacts. So the page before that in your handout is called 7 to cement your referral relationship. I'm just going to pull that back up on here. So this is now 7 to cement. So what you're going to do, so theoretically, you've gone and connected with Amy. Amy, you've now added her to your command database. You're going to send a thank you card week 1 out to Amy. You're going to send it to her market center or her place of business. And you're going to just send a thank you note. Hey, it was great connecting with you the other day. I look forward to building a great relationship with you over the years. Here's my business card. You can start with just that. Again, that's just that week 1, you're building to cement this relationship. Week 2, you're going to call, follow up with them, ask them about their business, what's going well. We know one thing we know about real estate agents is they really like to talk about themselves and what they do well. Ask them what's going well in their business. They're going to tell you. Week 3, mail an item of value. So again, same address, you're going to send it to there. Maybe you email it to them. And again, this is just a foundation. You can take whatever is going to work for you and what your unique value proposition is going to be. Maybe it's not a Starbucks gift card. Maybe it's something that you have that's special to you. If you craft stuff, send them something that's a handcraft. I had one agent in New York that I built a good relationship with. She did adult coloring books, like not adult, but like adult as far as, let me clarify that as I'm sitting in a room full of women. So the adult like coloring books like is more like that Zen coloring. She sent that out to all of her referral partners. And on the back of it was all of her contact information. That was an item of value that differentiated her from all the other business cards that I had collected. Week 4, you're going to call up with them. Hey, say, is there anything of value that you can add to them? Like maybe it is a newer agent who doesn't have anything to brag about themselves. Oh, well, you know what? I was attending this great training that Chris put on last week. That was about creating the Disney experience. Share something with them from that you learned from that. Again, you're just looking to build that relationship. Week 5, maybe mail them out a market report. I really like to get market reports for other areas of the country. You could take something like the monthly neighborhood nurture. You could add them to that as another component. But maybe just a report from Flex or from Paragon, which is the Myrtle Beach MLS, just with market stats. Just email that something. Now you're adding like, hey, I'm the market expert here in Wilmington. I'm the market expert here in Pawleys Island. Send me your business. And then that's going to help them when they get those conversations like, oh, I'm thinking of moving to Wilmington. Oh, yeah? Well, I happen to know a little bit about that market. And it's just going to make that referral they send to you just be that more solidified. So again, you're just looking to build that relationship outside of just throwing 500 people up the wall. Week 6 is you're going to call and you're going to do just more of a getting to know you type conversation. If you've taken BOLD or done any other trainings like that, there's a forward conversation, which is learn about their family. Well, hopefully you know about their job. Their recreation is the R, and their dreams. You're just gonna, where do they go on vacation? Have they ever been to the area? Do they know anything about the area? Again, with us being very destination-based location, being near the beach, lots of people have traveled here. Just get that conversation going. And then the final piece on week 7, just mail or email them something that sparks you from that conversation. So like you found out about, they're going to Disney next year. Maybe week 7, you're going to send them, a blog article on some tips about Disney. So just take something you learned from that last conversation and just personalize it to them. So what questions do you have on that plan? Again, you can take this, personalize it, customize it, make it your own, what works for you and your world. Yeah.
I was curious, so before even week 1, I think I would like to have a phone call with the agent and just decide if that's even someone I want to add.
Absolutely.
Do you have recommended questions to ask these potential partners?
That's a great question.
Like a script?
I don't have a script off the top of my head. I'm sure they exist out there.
Okay.
But again, heck, you could even start with the Ford conversation, learn about them and just because you're going to learn a lot from that, just from that conversation. Like, yeah,
I want to like decide
if that is someone you want.
Someone I would trust.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I learned that the hard way, just so you know. Really good clients of mine that they were listing their $500,000 house in Raleigh, and I just scanned and I grabbed the biggest team and I called the guy I met once, and she called me and she goes, "Oh my God, like he's nothing like you. He was rude and obnoxious, and all he did was talk about how great his big team or whatever." And so I'm a really personal, I want everything smaller. I used to run a big team, never going to do that again. And so I think it's like your comfort zone. I mean, this was specifically we're talking about building a network, but you want to do that. But also be careful who you're sending to who, because some people love the biggest agent with the highest production. Some people don't. And I ended up losing the referral and she gave it to somebody else because I didn't weed through knowing this client. So I think you could kind of categorize, what I'm thinking about doing is categorizing different types of partners as I meet them so that like don't send this person to this person.
Yeah, like don't send a listing expert who will get annoyed with buyers, someone that's first time home buyer.
Yeah. And also it's like, I think you attract people that are similar to you, not always, but how you do business, they're thinking like they're going to be like you. And so just be careful with that, because I was really dumb and she still jokes about it today. I'm like, it's not really funny.
No, I love that. I mean, that's a great point, because it is important. And I know I've received referrals incoming and they send this phenomenal email like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to Chris. I've known Chris for years." I'm like, "Dude, no, you haven't. You just picked me from a screen." So yeah, it is, and that's what we're trying to do here. Yeah. And that's why it's important too. If you look on that sheet, it's find 3 referral partners. Yeah. Because you're going to know who's going to be the best fit for that. And like you said, like if it's a person who specializes in listings, and they're going to be annoyed by that $150,000 first time FHA, zero down payment, they need a grant, they need you to, you're not going to want to send that to that person.
And you also don't get the help they need.
Yeah, exactly.
That happened to some clients that they're too busy to even fit me in.
Yep. And the flip side of that is if it's that $1 million listing, you want that $1 million listing specialist, even if they are maybe not the best person in the world. They're going to get the job done, and they're a good fit. Yeah, that's why it's important to build those relationships. But yeah, you can definitely, week 1A is that call first. Yeah.
I need to brainstorm questions.
Yeah. And I'm sure you can find some out there. I think I've seen some stuff, I just don't have it off the top of my head. All right. What questions do you guys have? So what question do you guys have before I just hop onto my next part?
Do you have any extras?
I do. Yep. So now that I've given you this wonderful follow-up plan, we've also taken it one step further for you. So I have created a SMART plan that is specifically these 7 steps. So the final component, you go out, you meet Amy, add Amy to command. You add her to your network. I have also now created a SMART plan that is these 7 steps that you see in there. If you were to go out to the SMART plan library, and if you were to search in the shared library, which is one of the best resources we have out there, we have created one. And if you were just to type Elevate Leverage and hit enter, all of the SMART plans that we as a team have put out there for you are there. This one specifically is going to be called Elevate Leverage 7 to Cement with Referral Partner. you would just go ahead and add that smart plan to your library. If you want to see what the steps are, you can go ahead and hit view steps. And it's basically exactly what you see on the printed page there. You can add that to your library. And then the final component, back into my contacts. And once you've added that smart plan to your library, you go up to add it to the person, you just go up to smart plan, hit add to smart plan. And now I have added this smart plan called Elevate Leverage 7 to Cement. I would just go select that and start that immediately. And that's going to trigger me to do all those action items. If you want to go in and copy the basic structure of the smart plan and wanted to tweak it and make it your own, once you have added it to the smart plan, your smart plan library, you'll see it's here. It's going to show up. It would say My Elevate Leverage on your side. You can just go in and hit the pencil and go ahead and hit edit. And let's say day 1 or day 0, you wanted to add a step that was make a call. You can just go in here and hit make a call. It's going to put it at the bottom. You'll just need to move it, scroll it all the way, keep moving it up to the top. If you're like, you know what, I don't want to send them a Starbucks gift card. I instead want to send them my adult coloring book. You can just say, instead of add mail item of value, you can put in your coloring book. You can just go in and tweak it, make it your own, but the structure is there for that intentional 7-week follow-up. And then those items will each show up on your to-do list every week. As you add.
Can you show the task list again?
Can I what?
Like show where the tasks pop up if you really log into command. Yeah.
So if I go, yep, go. I go into, let me add somebody first. Poor Amy's getting picked on a lot today. Say add the smart plan. It's going to say, hey, yeah, I want to start this immediately. Go ahead and confirm. Now, if I go to my home page, I've configured, oh, I did training the other day and didn't configure it this way. I have my tasks showing up. I'm going to configure it a little bit different. This is the way I have it set up usually. I have my tasks right at the top of my home page usually. So the first thing I should see showing up are those tasks. So I know to mail Amy a thank you card today. So it showed up like immediately on there because it was a day 0. Now, whether I check that item off or not, on day 8, the next step in that plan is going to show up. So it's really important if you're going to use a smart plan that you're checking the things off as you're doing them, or they're just going to pile up. As you can see, I've got 6 pages worth of follow-up tasks that are there because I just add a bunch of smart plans. So that was the content on how you can build your grow your referral network in Command, again with some intentionality. I would love to hear some ahas, takeaways, and I would love to hear some ahas and takeaways from my Zoom people as well.
I love it. I never knew that existed.
Well, welcome back, Leah.
Yeah, thank you.
What else? What else you guys got for me? And again, this has been recorded. It will be shared out probably by the end of today. We'll get this out to you guys.
I like that it's lead gen. So you're farming and it's part of lead gen. It's important and yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, that's a key component. Thank you, Jonathan, for mentioning that because this is lead generation. Like at its core, it is, and this should be part of your. If this is one of the things you want to grow, this needs to be part of your lead generation plan.
Yeah, it's good.
Do you have a video that for, let's say I wanted to email everybody something at one time? out of command or some way to put all those emails, addresses into one place from my tags?
Well, if you have them all tagged in command with that referral partner and you want to send them a Happy Halloween email that you created.
Yeah.
If you have those tags in here and you go into contacts, let me reshare my screen again. And let's say I go into contacts, and referral partner probably won't work as one, but I'll use one I commonly use. So these are people who have signed up for my 66-day challenge.
Yeah.
Tag 66-day challenge. So what I'm doing is I'm telling, hey, I want everybody who I have that tag on. So you would use referral partner in this case. Go ahead and hit apply. That's going to show the 36 people that I have with that tag on them.
Yeah.
$15 people that I have with that tag in this case. I am then going to select everybody. Now I've got 15 people selected. I'm going to hit select bulk action. And then I would either add to a smart plan or send them a specific add to an email list.
So where does that list go?
That list then goes to campaigns. And if I create a campaign, that is an email. And it says recipient list here. I would just send that to my, let's say I created that list and it was 66 days. That's going to send it to just those specific people. Does that help, Jonathan?
And this is like, it's like an email editor right here.
Well, you'd have to have already created the design. So that's where select design would be.
Yeah. I got to figure this out eventually because now I've built up my database and tagged everybody, but I've never sent them a Halloween card.
So I've got, so let's say as an example, copy of Valentine's Day. I would add that template. And I do apologize in advance. If you ever get something random from me, this is probably me teaching class and hit send. Something else. So now that template is now in there, and this would send out to the 66-day people.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I think there's a class coming in here right after me, apparently. So I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much. As I said, everybody who's on here, you will get a copy of the recording as soon as we have it finished. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
And talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome.